everybody, and welcome to the newest indoor adventure in Gold Rush, part 22 of our Weird West 4th edition game. Today is April 7th, 2025, which sounds like a fake year, and you are loved. And that is a very important thing that we like to remind each and every single one of our viewers and listeners at the beginning of each and every single one of these games. If this is your first time joining us, you can go to youtube.com/indooradventures to check up on all of the VODs of each of the games that we have played up until this point, or you can go towards anywhere audiocasts are being made available for free. You can find us there under the same moniker. And speaking of things that are being made available for free, if you go to patreon.com/indooradventures, you can check up on our after show called Nights in the Courtyard, where we answer questions not only from the community, but also from each other. But let's say you already support us on Patreon, you already support us on YouTube and Twitch and all of those other wonderful places that you've been able to find us, and you're trying to think to yourself, where can I go to possibly help support the show even more? Well, guess what, Acorns? I got your back. Quite literally, in fact, because if you go to indooradventure.redbubble.com, we got t-shirts, we got aprons, we got crop tops, throw pillows, shower curtains, aprons, clocks. We even have face masks with the symbol of Tiamat upon them, designed by our very own Cyberwolf1201, where all of the proceeds of all of our merch currently goes to support Doctors Without Borders. So if you would like to help support a good cause, you can again go to indooradventure.redbubble.com. Again, that is indooradventure, no S at the end, .redbubble.com. But that is it for my opening spiel. So hey, RJ, who are you playing today?
Hello everybody, my name is RJ. Today I'm playing Kid. He's a Genasi sword mage. I'm a menace to society. We're both trying out he/theys.
Hell yeah.
Hello, everybody. What?
I was just saying hell yeah.
Hello, everybody. I'm LBHackEmUp, she, her, and I am playing Trisannas, she, it, they, whatever. She is a Wilden Seeker, which means I'm a tree person with a long rifle.
Boy. I'm Cyber. I play Rakel. Rakel uses she, her. I am Cyber. I am 3 newly recombinant direwolf puppies in a trench coat who uses he and any. That's it.
And I am the indoor adventurer, he, him, and tonight I shall be playing as Carruthers Edelweiss, Ruth to his friends. Goes by he, him, and last I checked, was alive, so that's progress.
Hey everybody, I am Wings. I'm your DM in this adventure, in this hootenanny. She, her. Let's get right back into the recap. Last session 21, the posse was attacked by a strange pack of wolves without faces. After nearly killing them all, the pack mysteriously retreated. The posse dragged themselves to a seemingly abandoned cabin in the woods to lick their wounds and make preparations for the journey ahead. During the night, the cabin was approached by a familiar face from Ruth's past, one Jacques Ledbetter. What followed was some catching up and reminiscing on the past, and Kid learned the names of his birth parents after Jacques recognized the make of his gun. However, after a fitful night of sleep, Kid awoke to some odd symptoms. I seem to have a memory of Kid being out in the snow with itchy eyes after having had a really rough night of sleep. Dreams filled with rage and confusion.
I believe we were also told not to eat any of the fish or anything like that.
Ah yes, do not eat the fish. After all, I cannot be cursed twice. I can eat the fish, it's fine, but you should probably not eat the fish that do not have the faces, yes.
And I believe it was Rakel who had eaten the faceless fish.
Rakel, give me an endurance check. Teacher, we have homework.
Yeah, I was gonna say, stop telling the teacher!
What? That's my role here.
How do I play this game?
Good fucking question. If you open up your character sheet, if we're in the Roll20,
I hit a button.
You hit a button. That's the button you need to hit. Let me just check something real quick.
I have tried to endure. The word was
endure.
curse.
That's all we can ask right now, is that all of us endure. You. That's right. You're coming with me. You were supposed to be here, and now you are. What'd you roll?
26.
26, all right. You awake with no symptoms. However, Kid does. And as morning comes, Jacques will emerge from his beaver dam and set about making sure that everybody is supplied with breakfast and coffee, as he seems really eager to play the host this morning.
I think I might be allergic to something in the cabin.
Well, is there anything that we can do for you, Mr. the Kid?
I have no idea. It actually looks like Kid usually looks like he has his eyes closed. He's visibly squinting. There are little.
You've got like the puffy eyes of like somebody who's like experienced extreme hay fever.
It's like little static electricity coming out from the side.
Poor guy.
Oh, excuse me, not in the
Does anyone have like
sorry.
a Claritin or something?
Ugh, do I have it? I'm not
what?
the healer of the group, but perhaps I could do some sort of medicine check to find a herbal remedy.
By all means, this is a personal hell for me. I can hardly see already.
That is understandable.
I don't believe that we have a medicine check in fourth
There's a heal.
edition. I think it's a heal, yeah. But you
heal.
can. I would allow you to use either a heal or a nature check.
Boy,
to
if I can use
either-
nature, I'll use nature.
Okay, yeah. You know, I don't know why I said anything at all.
Yeah. That's a 31.
31. Okay. I think that you are able to sort of wander out into like the more like marshy areas, like upriver of the Beaver Dam, and find some sort of marsh root that can treat the anaphylactic symptoms of what Kid is experiencing. However, like as you grind boil water and then like create like a nice soothing tea for him,
Mm-hmm.
you can tell that this will like alleviate his symptoms, but whatever he's suffering from will likely persist.
Yeah. This will take care of it for now, but if it is an ongoing thing, it won't last forever.
What a time to find out you're allergic to something. I gotta figure out what.
Mm.
I do have heal. And I think things like this have happened at Rakel's tribe before. So I would like to use heal and
Okay.
see if I get a little bit more info.
Give me a hit
30.
check. 30. Oh, damn. Okay. I think that observing this occur, just sort of watching Kid and seeing the way that, yeah, like seeing the medicines that Triss uses to treat him, you like likewise can confirm that this will treat the symptoms but not the cause. And that makes you start thinking about like, well, what could the cause be? And I assume with Kid's permission, you give him a quick examination and you notice a bite on his forearm that seems to have begun to fester.
Oh crap, I was bit.
Okay. Does the bite match any of the faceless animals or
Of the creatures that attacked you yesterday, yes,
You mean,
100%.
you mean the creatures that frickin' like did
The bite you're looking at is like the bear trap face of one of those wolves, like,
Got
and
it.
for some reason it's festering the way that a bite would if, like, you know, an actual animal bit him.
Huh.
cool. So shit. Do we have anything around here that'll help with rabies or other carried things?
Kid pulls out a hatchet.
Would it be tetanus for this?
With your heal check, I do believe that you could peruse the options available to you. And it would occur to you that you do have access to a few rituals. You do have a ritual that can postpone the consequences of a curse to this degree. However, you will have to either find a way to heal him or to or like, you know, he just recovers from it on his own, which is a possibility. You do. I don't know if I wrote it down in your character sheet here. And it's been a while since I've looked at your stuff. It's been a while. It's essentially the lower level version of Remove Curse, or Greater Restoration, or whatever it was that you needed to remove the petrification. It's not exactly what you were looking for, but you're getting closer, essentially.
Bam, I don't see it.
Let me open up.
Oh, delay affliction.
Delay Affliction, that's the one.
All right, I can do something, but I do need hair of the dog.
Like any dog?
No, I mean specifically the hair of the dog that bit him. And I pull out some of the bear trap fur.
Going to be difficult. I've never seen them travel alone. If you encounter another one of those wolves, it will be with the pack.
Don't worry, I'm sure this is fine.
I believe it was one of them that knocked Rakel down last time.
And also dragged Ruth away.
Yep.
You'll recall I had all of you make endurance checks.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
So I'm pretty sure Rakel would be able to find some that was still on her because she has not done anything except like immediately go to sleep.
I'm willing to entertain that possibility.
So she is going to try to get a few of those hairs and start bandaging Kid's arm around and try to relieve his affliction.
Okay. Well, you know what? I will look it up in the database so that I know exactly. Delay Affliction puts a single enduring effect. Any of those affected by Remove Affliction, which is the one that you're actually looking for, on hold for a period determined by the ritual caster's check result. Until that time is up, the target acts in all ways as though he or she were not affected by the affliction. Upon completing this ritual, make a heal check, and using the level of the effect you are trying to delay or the level of the creature that caused the effect as a penalty to this check. Alright, let me double check what level those creatures were. All right. They were level 5.
So 22.
You rolled. All right. So we got a 22. You have delayed it for 1 week.
Oh,
Is this 7 days or 10 days?
7 days.
Okay.
It's a valid question.
It is. It is. I know from how literal 4th edition is, if they meant 10 days, they would have said it.
Well, a week in Faerun is 10 days.
Well, a week in
That's a
Faerun is
10-day.
called a 10-day.
Don't tell me. Don't tell me it's actually 7 days and they call it a 10-day.
No.
Oh, good. Okay.
No.
I was like,
That
no.
would be
call it
such
a-
a mindfuck.
I know.
It holds the cultural like position of a week,
I see.
but they call it a 10-day.
Uh-huh. Okay.
I'm sorry. That was I
was like,
understand how that was
no.
confusing.
RJ's
Oh my
having a
goodness.
moment.
Anyways.
it's
Are we-
been.
Yeah, it's been
10 days
Okay.
since
A
you looked at
10-day.
me.
I think I've just deleted that entire conversation from my brain, so I'm good to go.
Now
Excellent,
You know why his
okay.
name was It's Been a 10-day.
all right. So Kid has had his affliction delayed, and as Rakel finishes this ritual, wrapping up your arm, muttering incantations under her breath, a fine gold sheen will cover this bandage, and there's a little shimmer as she does so. And as she does that, your eyes seem to relax, as though somebody's placed a cool cloth over them, and you
Oh,
can finally breathe a sigh of relief.
that's real
um,
good, Raquel. Thank you.
And you even realize that, like, there was kind of like this underlying tension, this sort of irritation that, like, if you had gotten into a fight later on, there would have been consequences.
So, hey Doc, to Raquel.
Sorry, I just glanced over, and the captions capitalized consequences. I'm sorry, carry
Ain't
on.
that the vibe
Yeah,
of 2025?
Consequences.
Yeah, kid.
Do you know anything that would cause both puffy eye and an insatiable rage?
Rabies.
Oh, fuck.
Well, no, that's more hydrophobia.
But my body's 70%
Skinwalking,
water. I'm sorry, what?
so skin changing.
I would not like that to happen.
I don't know. There's a whole bunch of shit. You didn't find any, and she'll like describe this weird like silver and blue plant that you absolutely have not come across.
Okay, no, I just got bit by some bear trap wolf-headed creatures.
Well, it could be rabies or tetanus, but
Would that be super rabies or super tetanus?
I don't know. I had hair of the dog. That's as good as I can do.
Thank you.
Can't
Okay.
hear you at all.
Sorry, I was just pontificating to myself. Can you imagine if you could get rabies and tetanus at the same time?
You can.
You can.
It'd be awful. Anyway,
Kid is just
As-
looking into like a cup of water. All right, I'm good.
as interested in hosting as Jacques seems, he seems equally interested in hearing about your plans going forward.
Why, you cop?
I do not think so. I am one of the sole living creatures on this mountainside, so I suppose you are only a cop if you decide to be. So, no, I am a cop. I am not a cop. Jesus.
It's the Oliviette pirate situation all over again.
God damn it. People are always making assumptions about our people.
Ruthie, how much would you like to share since this is seems to be one of your old friends? Also, you have a cat in your doorway.
Yeah. Which doorway? That door? Oh, she's over there. Yeah.
Oh, she's rolling.
That's all she does is just rolls. She's great. So when asked about this, I think Ruth, because we gave Jacques the rundown of everything that we had been through up until that point. And I think moving forward, Ruth is saying, well, first things first, obviously, try and talk to, I believe it's Cyrus? It's been a while.
Cirrus, yes.
Cirrus. It's, first things first, my objective, talk to him. And if he's not up for conversing, then there's not really much else that we can do other than speak a more mutual language. And he says that, like, tapping the battle-crazed hand axe at his side.
I see. A dire task ahead of you, I see. But first, you will have to actually find him and approach him.
Well...
And I'm sorry to say, Carruthers, no one has ever succeeded in the endeavor.
That just means no one survived.
Isn't he a very large being?
Oh, yeah, no, he's a giant. Just, no...
Like a
ifs, ands,
storm giant, no?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, no, he's at least like 25 feet tall.
Can't they like
hence
hurl
the storm? Yes.
Can't they hurl like thunderbolts and like
Yep.
control the weather, that sort of dealy?
Yes, indeed.
Maybe we get
Like-
those train serpents to try and find him. Maybe they're mad at him or something.
We're gonna leave fucking trains alone.
Yeah, I think we have finished our business with the trains.
Well, party poopers. All right, well.
I mean, there is a question as to whether or not the trains have finished their business with you.
Oh, please, I hope they have.
All right, follow-up question. Jack, you were saying that you can't be cursed twice. What exactly is the second curse that would have befallen an individual who may or may not have eaten a faceless fish? And Ruth looks really quickly at Rakel.
Oh, yes, of course. Well, I found that the wildlife up here is, they are all kind of going the same way, yes? Becoming faceless and, very angry.
And have you observed this and or, if you would not mind explaining, possible symptoms? And he says that, making a quick look towards Kid and then back.
Well, first their faces go away, and then they become very angry.
And then the faces get replaced with, the bear trap thing? Or is that just, natural wildlife up here?
I have a feeling that is the influence of Cirrus himself.
Okay. Just wanted to check. Just wanted to verify a little bit.
One of the wolves was bigger than the others? Am I misremembering?
Mm-hmm.
Could you tell us about the big one?
I reckon that was their leader.
Okay, cool. Not like a dire bear trap wolf creature, right?
Well, just from my observations, there is usually a leader to a pack.
Okay, cool. Cause wolves and dire wolves are different classifications of things.
Yes, I see.
One's more dire.
Whole situation's dire,
Dire.
kid.
Yeah, dire or not, they are very dangerous. Which is the reason why, first of all, you set on going up the mountain, yes?
Well, if not over, then through. But last I checked, we didn't have the time nor the digging utensils to really push ourselves that way.
We have dynamite.
Yeah, but dynamite costs us money every time we use it.
I would highly dissuade, unless a path has already been cut through. Perhaps not trying to dig through a mountain, lest it come down on top of you.
Fair point. Fair point.
It can be very dangerous, yes?
How well equipped are we for the journey on this mountain? Because we ain't talking to him if we don't make it there first.
As of right now, I am afraid I have to say you are not very well equipped. Which is why he reaches into his giant beaver skin cloak and he pulls out 3 sort of yellowed paper schematics. When I say 3, I meant 4. I'm sorry, I can't count. And he's going to pass them out to you. And Ruth, you will recognize this from your war days, actually. These are some schematics that were passed out to, like, troops that had proven themselves worthy and had the law and the funds, basically, to utilize these schematics to upgrade their armor.
Okay.
So everyone shall receive a bump to their armor, basically moving to the next level on the ladder.
Yes, the armor ladder.
Well, I mean the ladder of everyone's individual armor. I did make sure to grab those and copy them. The highlighted in yellow is the armor that you have now, and highlighted in blue is the armor that you will be upgrading to. Basically, everybody's going from +1 armor to +2.
Ooh, yippee.
Mine already said +2. Did you change it?
I might have.
Okay. Thanks.
Does everybody else's say +2? I did this weeks ago, so I literally don't recall.
Mine probably does.
Crystal? What is the what's the action points? Do we get action points at the beginning of the session?
After a long rest, your action points reset to 1.
Okay.
So everybody should have 1 action point at this point.
Thank you. Mm-hmm.
Yes. In addition to this, I am going to lift the level restriction on gear that you can create. If you have the money for it, you can make it.
Holy shit. Dangerous.
We are entering the end game, folks.
Oh my god. Well, shall we start researching and find out what sort of contraptions we can make? And perhaps we could create some sort of flying vessel for us?
Kid is already at the table, like his face glued down to the schematics.
I mean, if we're going up against a guy who can control the weather, I would highly suggest maybe not flying, especially in a mountain.
Understandable. A hardy tank, perhaps. Though that would probably cut down a few trees.
Well, we can either be in a giant metal box against a man who can summon lightning at will, Or we can go up into the sky and fly around against a man who can control the weather at will.
Could I make an Arcana check to craft something? I had an idea.
What is your idea? Tell me that, and I'll let you know.
I wish to enchant some javelins so that they are purely metallic, and if lightning is thrown at us, it kind of redirects it to those things. So you throw the javelin away from you, essentially. And if you get hit by lightning, it should shoot off to the
So the
level rod.
idea is that you make a javelin that like attracts lightning so that you don't get hit by lightning.
Yeah.
I think that's a cool idea.
The lightning rod.
A throwable lightning rod.
Yeah, okay. If we can agree on a price for something like that.
Is there a sort of... What... Do we have a counterspell ability? And then, like, if you can put that on a scroll, then you could probably price it that way.
Let's see. Javelins are 5 gold apiece on their own.
Mm-hmm.
And let me look at like consumables. Yeah, okay. I'll give that to you for 30 gold pieces apiece. And if you go and pick them up after they've been charged, you can use them as a lightning javelin.
Cool.
That's it.
I'll take 4.
Cool.
What has the terrain been like so far?
Very snowy. But conversing with Jacques, he will let you know that as you go up the mountain, the snow gets deeper, and it becomes very steep, and there will come a point where you have to climb. There is no longer any like maintained paths through the mountains. Like you're gonna have to blaze your own trail, basically.
Well, perhaps not a large flying machine, but something that would allow us to ourselves float or fly.
Jacques, do you know about the currents around the mountain?
I am afraid I stay here. I do not go up the mountain. It is a mite too dangerous for my like. You must understand I do not have access to law as one such as yourself does.
Oh, no, it's understandable.
I am merely very large of tooth. And very, how you say,
French.
angry with the sound of running water.
Aren't we all?
I'm not sure I am, but perhaps I'm missing context.
Probably gonna need climbing gear if we're not gonna fly up there.
Well,
Our
If you do not
safest
have any
bet.
of your own, I can probably find some for you.
Much appreciated.
I believe that this cabin was once belonged to Cirrus Bluff himself, but I have not seen him come to it in quite some time.
At that mention, could I, like, Kid Perks turns his head and scans the room? Like, could I make some investigation checks to see if there are anything hidden around?
Hidden, as in like...
Floorboard, you could pry up,
Oh.
and there's like a little something under there.
Just to
Interesting.
recap, this was a normal size cabin, right?
Yes, but now that you look at it, there are some furniture that is like oversized. It's like it was a normal sized cabin that was repurposed for a giant, if that makes sense.
Ow.
The roof is detachable.
Mm-hmm.
You press a button, it extends upward. Would that be insight?
If you, I mean, like, if you're pitching it to me as like trying to think, like, if I were
That'd
the
be like
kind of guy that Cirrus is, where would I hide things that I didn't want to be found? Then
per-
yes, you could do that as an insight. Investigation would be like Sherlock Holmesian.
I don't think we have an investigation check.
No, okay.
We have a perception check.
You could also do perception. We'll say perception or insight.
Okay, insight per stat. 15.
15. It occurs to you you don't know much about Cirrus. So it's kind of hard to put yourself in his shoes.
Also a giant.
Mm-hmm. It'd be mighty big shoes to fill.
Just a wrinkled nose as he walks back to the schematics. Wait, Ruthie, you knew Sirius, right?
Very, very well.
Do you think you might have hid something down here?
Possibly. He was more of a person. How do I put this? Have you ever met a fox in the way that they bury things and then know where it is later? Like they create little buried caches around wherever they exist.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily like if you yourself are a man about the land and an incredible tracker, why would you put all of your goodies in an easily accessible building?
Because it's easily accessible.
For us as well. That being said, I will give it a look. I'm just not sure if we'll be able to find anything here.
He's under the floorboards hoping we'd leave.
Go away.
Go, Ruthie, please. Just this once.
Lift a floorboard. Go away. Oh! Put the floorboard back. Nothing to see. Let's leave.
Let's go climb that mountain.
DM, around the cabin, is there anything like a sled or anything that would be used to carry items across the snow?
Absolutely, yeah. You could find yourself a toboggan, and even some snowshoes in both giant and normal person sizes. There's like one set of giant shoes and then like 5 sets of normal sized snowshoes. You know, I'm gonna have to say 6 actually. There's 6 sets of normal sized snowshoes.
6 sets of sizable snowshoes.
We're not going to repeat that multiple times.
There's four sets of normal sized snowshoes and then like 4 sets of children's sized snowshoes.
Okay.
Never wore.
Why are these snowshoes shifting and changing in front of us?
Kid,
What is
that's
this
still,
puzzle?
That's still the curse running through your bones.
It makes me so angry.
Sorry, I keep on thinking about it. I'm all like, what would make sense with the information I know, and I'm all like, yes, that's correct. And I'm saying sets, but that's wrong. It's okay. Final answer.
Okay.
1 set of giant size snowshoes.
Okay.
4 sets of normal size snowshoes.
Okay.
2 sets of children's size snowshoes.
Okay.
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
And a pair of
And the
skis.
children's size snowshoes are like particularly small, and like the place where the feet would be is like very like reinforced in terms of like connecting and circular.
Like a hoof?
Like a hoof.
Oh, it's a little fawn.
not to be insensitive, but Ruthie, do you know anything about these? Does he have any kin?
That is a good question. Hey, DM.
These are. Oh yeah, Ruth. These are absolutely the snowshoes of the compass roves. You don't know about the kid snowshoes though. That's weird. They weren't there when you were here last.
I'll explain.
Ah.
Maybe the tiny snowshoes were for, what's his buckets? The half horse, half man.
Sparky?
Yeah, that one. Well, he was Sparky and then he wasn't Sparky. I can't remember. He was after my time.
Yeah, he was Sparky and then he was dead because we killed him.
Yep. Yes, he was. Just a long stare out into the wilderness.
Okay, is the sled that I picked up, is it normal for a giant giant to carry items, or is it normal for a normal sized human to carry items?
I'm gonna say that it would easily be like thrown over the shoulder of a giant and carried, but like if you're just gonna like pull it across the snow, like you could very much like pull it just fine.
Okay, so we can fit 4 butts on it.
Yeah, I'd say so for sure.
Okay, I get Morabek out there and I wrap something into the non-Euclidean, non-Newtonian spirit, and Rakel was just telling her, "All right, get on. Where are we going?"
I get on.
Island.
I'd recommend you go due west and stick to the river as much as possible. As the faceless beings, they do not like my river.
Got it.
Thank you.
And I will try and get my sled spirit to mush us forward as far as we can until we have to start climbing.
Goodbye, everyone. Please be safe. Au revoir.
Take care of yourself.
Arrivederci. Like grabs
Good
you
luck
by the
finding your
face,
dad.
kisses you on each cheek, and you too, dear Ruth.
I'll pull him and bring him in for a big smooch.
Hell yeah.
Well.
And he'll like
Yes, your homies.
like literally like pick you up and put you on the sled, and like he turns away as though it's too painful for him to watch.
What a good guy.
We'll have to see him on the way back.
Oh, we don't have to.
Oh. I'm sorry, I thought there was a tender moment there.
No, I mean it was. It's just more of a. It felt like the right thing to do. But if we don't see him again, I won't be upset about Look, it was a long couple winters we spent together.
I see. Understandable. Must
And they
make
were
do where the sun
roommates.
don't shine. What?
Huh? What?
I'm mushing.
I'm just gonna turn face forward, pretend this conversation isn't happening.
God, you sure are. You sure are mushing. Okay. Ruth, the last time that you were here, you were alone and you were on foot. And it was miserable. But you can't help but notice that, like, here, surrounded by your friends, and like, in a sled, a dog-pulled sled, no less. Things are going a lot smoother than they did last time.
Rakel hits a bump.
I mean, still smoother than last time. It's not easy, but like it's better than before.
Making progress.
And you can't quite put your finger on why. It could be the fact that you're not alone. It could be the fact that you're more powerful now than you ever were before. Yeah. Those are the 2 reasons I could think of why it would be better than before. But it's better. And so you go. Um, is there any conversations that happen as you travel up the mountain?
I think Ruth has been taking into consideration what Triss was saying about how we're going to climb, or at least like get past a lot of these more like sheer cliff faces. And I think he's just sort of like spitballing with her. He's like, so if I remember correctly, there are boots of spiders. We're not made of spiders, but like boots of the spider.
No, you gotta check your boots make sure they ain't got any spiders in them.
Oh yeah, no.
Or rattlesnakes or what have you.
But at least these boots of the spider would allow us to like more easily and readily climb things. Or if we all pool our money together, I'm sure there are boots of like levitation or something along those lines. I just wouldn't be able to make those myself. Last I remember, those go for around 4,600 gold pieces, and well, I'm up a little short after making all that dynamite that I used to throw at the faceless wolves yesterday.
Understandable. I have quite a bit of funds in my purse, so if we need something, I believe I have around 4,000.
I'm at 3K myself last I checked.
So we could at least make one pair of boots and then just like wear them, pop up to the top, throw the boots down.
I believe the spider boots would only be. I believe we could make 4 with about 4,000 gold.
That's just 1,000 each.
Yes.
Now, to be fair, you still have to climb while wearing those. So if anybody is not super good on the athletic side of things,
I think I'll be fine, honestly.
I know I'll be fine.
What we could do
I'm more
is...
of a dexterous climber.
But
I
we
should
also
be fine.
can't. Isn't Morabek capable of like hopping through the sky to a degree?
No.
Oh, never mind.
What if we put the boots of levitation on Morabek?
No.
No? Alright.
You see, that would not levitate the sled.
Last I remember, dogs don't like wearing shoes.
Just Morabek. Give him the dog kicks.
Oh no! Horrible.
All right, so spider boots?
Sounds like a plan.
Spider boots.
Sorry, Ellie, you're saying something?
Do we have to make spiders in the boots?
No. It's more. It allows you to crawl like a spider.
It's a prefix. Not actual spiders.
Yeah, when you make an athletics check to climb, you can climb your normal speed instead of half.
Mm-hmm.
And if
That's
it
what
helps Annie, we could tie like a belay, a rope around the more weaker climbers and assign them a stronger climber partner.
That sounds wonderful to me. Although I don't. Will all of you skinned individuals be all right with the clothing that we have?
Oh yeah, I've been warm
Rakel
since.
has
Given
Rakel
us
has given
charms.
y'all the survivor's preparation.
Right. All right.
I've been wearing winter snap armor since we first left, like from like town number 2 that we were in. I've been ready for this.
I thought
You
those
did
were
almost
just
die
your
on
pets.
this mountainside. You have absolutely been anticipating this from the beginning.
It's just a little bit of trauma.
Okay. So with these plans underway, and making good speed on this dog sled, those of you with higher perception, I believe Triss and Rakel, will notice from time to time there is occasionally the faceless visage turned to you from the trees. Your advancement is not going unobserved.
Which is odd because they don't have faces, so one would think it'd be difficult to observe, but it seems nonetheless Raquel, would you remind me what we need from to cure kids' affliction?
What would what would Raquel actually know?
Knowing that the affliction is sourced to Cirrus, or assuming it, at least, either he'd have to get over it himself, just by, good constitution, or kill Cirrus and
Okay.
end the curse. It's just like the patina that Sissy put on that one town, Glimmer, or any other place that was under the thumb of a deputy. This curse appears to be a part of his influence over these lands.
Do you all think that if and when we kill Cyrus, things will go back to normal quickly, or
Well,
will
if
it take
Glimmer
some time?
was, if Glimmer was anything to use as a basis, it might be pretty fast.
Same with Lethe Springs. Seemed like once we
That
took
would
care
be
of the
nice.
Baron, things changed awful quick.
If this curse is by Cyrus, can kids study the law in the curse?
Arcana check?
Yes, please. 13.
Okay. You keep on trying to catch snowflakes out of the air, but they keep melting before you can really examine them.
No, I was gonna study the curse on my arm, but
Oh, on your arm.
yeah, I wanted to know what the rules were to the curse.
Okay, I see. Your power is very strong, and the curse itself is being, dampened by now. If you had rolled higher, you could probably, pull a piece of it out and, give it a real good look at it. But, your power is kind of, too loud for it, if that makes sense. You keep on trying to, study the foreign law in your arm, but, all you can really read is your own.
Well, maybe I'll try again next week.
Okay. Anything else before we move on?
All forward.
Okay. All right, fam. Dutifully, you stick to the river. And the farther you get, the more frozen the river becomes, and at some point Morback just fully jumps onto the ice of the river itself and pulls you across that, as it seems to readily take your weight. And after some time, you eventually see in the distance a sheer rise in elevation. And sure enough, you come around the edge of a canyon, and you see a enormous waterfall that has been frozen solid. And at this point, the wind has really picked up, and you can no longer really determine the difference between the sky and the ground. There is just wind.
Ruth is gonna yell over the wind to see if there's some kind of cavern behind the waterfall that would allow us to get out of the wind to collect our thoughts enough, warm up fingers, have a little food, form a game plan as to what we're doing.
Tell everybody to look behind the waterfall.
Yeah, look behind the waterfall.
Okay. You get off of the sled, and carefully pick your way over the ice. And you can find that there is in fact a cavern behind the waterfall, but you're gonna have to squeeze to get to it.
Is it like frozen water is preventing us from being able to get to it?
For the most part, but like there is a gap, like you can get to it. It's
Okay.
just, it's tight.
Is there a place where Kid can anchor the toboggan so it doesn't like blow away in the storm?
Sure, yeah, you can find a icicle that's like basically sideways at this point, and you can,
Hog tie that.
yep.
I've seen some trampolines get some distance. All right, we don't want to lose this thing.
You are. Did we determine there was a cave?
Well, judging by
Yep.
Ruthie not being here, I think there is.
Oh,
He's scrambling in there.
He'll from the entrance, like that small squeeze entrance, you just see an ever burning torch, like being
From
waved.
behind the ice.
working away.
Yeah, well,
At
like
the
it's
ice.
clearing the ice, but also because typically an ever burning torch doesn't have heat attributed to it. It's just like a source of light. So he's more like waving you like there is a thing here.
Landing lights.
Yeah.
Shall we then?
Okay.
Yeah.
We shall join Ruthie.
And he's just there, like just blowing on his hands, rubbing them together.
You find a brief reprieve from the wind, which is just whistling outside.
Not my typical weather, but it is nice in its own way. I
I've
wouldn't
always-
want to live here.
I've always been more of a fan of the cold than the heat because you can always put on more layers, but there's a certain point where it gets too hot that you can't take nothing off anymore, and it's still too warm.
I actually prefer the heat. I think I may be thin-skinned, and Kid is shivering a little bit.
As I am thick-skinned, I also prefer the heat, especially the humidity. It does well for my pores, and she
Ugh.
motions to her bark.
Hot and warm? That is the worst combination. Or
You
hot
mean
and
hot
muggy?
and-
Ugh,
Ugh.
yeah.
Well, for one who needs hydration constantly, I think it's fine.
Well, were we all so lucky? All right. Well, here is this waterfall. I don't know how y'all are feeling about climbing directly up this.
No.
That's why I wanted to levy the question of how we were feeling about it. Clearly, the answer's no.
Breaking
No's
the
on
ice,
side.
we all die. What?
Do not try to climb up around a waterfall. You will slip and die.
What about the rocks on the side?
Perfectly fine.
Depends on where the mist goes.
But this is the waterfall is pretty much frozen here, so.
Yeah.
Depends on where the mist went
Oh.
before it froze.
Because then it's just going to be like sheer ice wall on the
Yeah.
sides of it as well. All right, so we want to break up into teams of two, try and climb this thing up. Not the waterfall, obviously. Everyone has ixnayed that idea. But the surrounding rocks that are a much safer place to climb,
Depending on where the mist went.
depending on where the mist went. I am fairly spry and an awful good climber, and I am and Ruth is gonna make some fancy shoes for himself. He's gonna make those boots O the spider.
I'll also throw in some money to make some boots of the spiders.
Now,
Trisannas also gonna try her best to make boots of the spider.
Could
Works for
I
me.
attempt to make Boots of the Spider, but instead of an athletics check, could I make it have an acrobatics check instead?
I I kind of like that idea. Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. I shall mark the money.
Boots of spider climbing.
We all gear up. What time of day is it at this point?
I believe it would be midday.
Sun in the sky. Who should go with who?
If I'm taking anybody.
I might need some help.
Why don't you
Especially
go?
because I don't think I did this right. She points down to her spider boots. There are okay. Imagine if you will.
Oh my god.
I think I know where this is going.
Oh my god.
Number one, there's a photo in our chat in our Discord. Imagine if you will a fuzzy UGG boot that is coming out of the abdomen of a fuzzy little jumping spider, except it's not little.
God, I fucking love it.
Why don't you go with Ruthie?
All right.
Walks up to Ruthie, pats his shoulder. Do not let our little one fall, please.
Oh no, definitely not.
Huh?
I said, oh no, definitely not. I'm gonna let him
As
fall.
of a soccer ball.
Turns out rings of feather fall are quite expensive.
I wonder why.
But
I at least have an out. Oh boy.
Does anybody have the stat block for the boots of the spider? I'm not able to find them myself.
it is Boots of Spider Climbing is their name. They're in the heroic tier. Property, when you make an athletics check to climb, you can climb at your normal speed instead of 1/2 speed. Power, daily. Move action, on this move action, you move with a climb speed equal to your speed.
Love to see it. Okay.
Sorry.
So
as far as like the rules go, does that mean you can only do it for 6 seconds? Since it's an action?
No,
it's a move action.
So the property is the athletics check. You will always have that one baked in, but then the daily power is if you just didn't want to deal with that check, you could use the daily power attributed to the item for your movement to then move without having to roll, but you can just go vertical for it.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
I am happy to allow these boots of spider climbing, whatever skill you tagged, for these boots. In the case of a skill challenge, which is coming up, whenever you use that skill, you can do it so at advantage.
Sounds good.
Okay. Sounds like it's time for a skill challenge, folks.
Yeah.
Let me pull up the turn order. Are we all on the same page? We are indeed.
I would hope so.
Well, I mean, the same page on Roll20, my friend. Everyone go ahead and roll initiative.
No, I didn't select my thing first.
Oh, I forgot to heal. Oopsies.
The goal of this skill challenge is to climb the mountain and not die.
Admirable.
Y'all remember the rules to skill challenges. You may not use the same skill twice. You may not use the skill that the person ahead of you in initiative rolled. Let's go for it. The amount of successes we're looking for is 5, and that'll get you a partial victory before you get 3 failures. Are we, or not 3 failures, excuse me, it's 3 rounds. That's right, that's the rules. We will do 3 rounds. You're trying to get 5 successes within 3 rounds. Let's go. Rakel is at the top of the round. You find yourselves at the bottom of this mountain. The wind is howling. And you all have spiders on your feet.
Yes. Raquel does. Can I use nature to climb? I have actual spiders on my feet.
You do have spiders on your feet. Are you saying that you're like asking the spiders nicely to help you climb?
Yes.
I would love that. That's beautiful. Let's do it.
Everyone's pressed against the wall, and Rakel's the only one, like...
Yeah. Just standing, and like the spiders are the ones doing the walking. That is
27.
a success.
Nice.
All right, we are on round 1.
My
We
nightmare
have-
feet are great.
1 success. More like a dream. Ruth, you are the next one.
Athletics. And you said that we're doing this at advantage from the boots?
Yes, and
Okay.
in 4th edition, advantage means you gain +2.
Ah. A natural 20
But
for 32.
you're not gonna fucking need it, as Ruth fucking, like, I don't know, do you have, oh, okay, yeah, sure.
Just
if
2
you-
axes.
If you are familiar with MTV's Teen Wolf, when they're doing the, like, they're still humans doing the wolf run, and it just looks really fucking weird. That's like, it's Underworld style. That's Ruth on the side of this, is that it just looks like it's like more of like a seesaw
Yeah, there's some
motion.
serious wire work going on. He's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
barely touching the wall. And he's just like whoop up the mountain.
Just pulling Rakel along with him.
All right, kid, what the heck are you gonna do now he's done the athletics ahead of you?
May I use... Well, I have an idea.
Mm-hmm.
So something that rock climbers do before competition is basically imagine like how the holds and how the what they're gonna do on the mountainside is going to be. May I use insight to try and trace a mental map of the best places for Tris and I to climb, and then guide
Yes.
Tris through it?
I love that. Let's see an insight check for that.
I'm gonna use an action point to re-roll because I've been rolling shit tonight.
Okay.
I need to feel something.
I do want to reflect whenever there is a roll that is poor, even if you do an action point. I want to narratively I want it to affect the narrative.
Yeah.
So you're standing there, sort of like looking to see like which handholds are going to be the best to take, and as you're doing so, like the howling of the wind is really loud and distracting, and a shadow follows over you, and you realize that that whistle that you're hearing is not the wind; it is in fact a train that has just flown overhead. Now you may roll.
What the shit? 15. That's probably not gonna make it either, but better than a 9.
Unfortunately, it is not.
Uh,
Your insight tells you that now is not the best time to start that particular route. In fact, now is probably the time to lay low for a hot second until that train goes away.
he'll motion upward for Trisannas. There's a train up there. Oh, Ruthie's just gone now. Shit.
Triss, 'tis your turn.
Shall I wait, or perhaps I can find a better path?
Honestly, I think going down together is probably better than dying separate, so we might as well go.
All right, let's see what I can do. I'm going to use my... Oh, mean, I'll try my acrobatics. It's not terrible. With advantage, that's a 28.
Kid is yanked upwards.
You begin climbing, and I imagine that this is a very like elegant ascent. You're not doing this in a haphazard or like brute force sort of way. This is a very like, pick out your handholds and then just like very gently like take those handholds and like gracefully pick your way up the mountain. Meanwhile, sort of like looking over your shoulder and making sure that the train has not spotted you, like stopping like when it passes and then continuing as you go. Rakel.
I mean, luckily, I blend in very well in this situation because my bark is white.
And I'm a powder blue.
You know what? I haven't been tracking accurately. With a natural 20, you get an extra success. And then Trisannas also succeeded. We are in round 2.
I am going to try to help my spider feet climb and keep up with Ruth athletically. I assume I get advantage.
Yeah.
Do I get advantage?
Yes.
What does that mean?
If your advantage gives you +2.
21.
With the advantage, you succeed. We are now in partial victory territory. Anything past here is just gravy.
Okay. So Rakel is trying to keep up. Ruth is pushing through. We're having that, there's that difficulty of the wind blowing by. It's still being snowy. Ruth being an old man, his eyes might not work as great, especially in all of the snow and cold. So I would like to use a perception check to try and spot some good handholds to better navigate his squirreled path up the side of this canyon.
I love to see it.
Well, I hope to impress with a roll. A 23.
Okay. Ruth, you look around to try and find the best handholds, and you see a little ways up the mountain what appeared to be just like an icy rock. You realize that it is a sort of like an overhang that's going to take you in the direction. Okay, like let me better describe this. You're scaling the side of this mountain, and you are now like beginning to reach a peak, which means that there's going to be nowhere else to climb to. However, there appears to be like an outcropping that's just kind of like resting on this side, like where you're at, and also on the other side, sort of a bridge, like a rock bridge.
Okay.
Leading to the rest of the mountain.
Aiming for the rock bridge. And he'll try and holler down through the wind to his companions what he is seeing.
Okay. Kid, it is you.
All right. Triss and I are setting a pretty decent pace, but we kind of need to catch up. Would it be possible to use Arcana to calm the snow, or like the storm locally around Triss and I?
Sure.
25.
This is something that requires immense focus. You feel like it's something that you would be able to do like pretty much any time, but you would have to like basically use all of your actions to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So you focus. Sorry.
It is like the deep inhalation of the cold mountain air catching some of that snowflakes. There's a small golden spark, and it's like, okay, I see how the law works now. Let me manipulate it this way.
And I can tell you exactly what that spark is. You unravel a piece of this law and sort of like there's kind of like a fractal that like spools out from the core of its being, and you're able to like follow the line down to where it originates, and you're able to determine the law that binds and guides this entire if you're hearing like a weird like static sound,
Sorry, I'll turn it off.
it's
Oh,
Tyler
it's-
making hot water.
It wasn't a static sound, it was more like a tin effect, like an echo over your voice.
It's probably like
The
trying
hot
to
water
like
heater, yeah.
like noise cancel. The core of the law that guides this land. It's keep out. And you're like, okay, a little bit simple. I can work with this. You use keep out to keep the winds away. And I imagine what you do is that you build like a pillar of calm between yourself and your destination. Triss is able to use that to finish her ascent, and you carefully pick your way up. There is the sound of a train below you, and you watch it go screaming by, basically. And there's a moment where you just kind of like see this train like you know when you see like a passing train, it's just you see it below you in the air, and it's just there for a while, like all like
Honestly, that's something I
violence
see.
and speed, and then it's just gone. Yeah, it even makes the like rail clacking noise, because they make rails ahead of themselves.
Yeah. Hmm. Just to Triss. I think I understand his law a little bit better now.
And that is part of your reward for a very good success in this skill challenge. The rest of it will be a refresh of an action point.
Yippee. Hey Wings, have we met back
Yeah.
up with Ruthie and Rakel?
Yes, they can be standing there with hands outstretched and pull you up onto this
arms
outcropping.
wide open.
Yeah.
One more Arcana check. Can I change the law surrounding us?
That
To-
would be very difficult. What do you
It's
want
just
to change
an
it to?
addition, not like a complete rechange. Instead of just keep out, I want to tack on of sight.
Okay. Yeah. Give me an Arcana roll.
16.
I'm sorry, that's not going to be enough.
And it was a good effort.
As you try to manipulate the law around you further, keep out becomes a lot more agitated and shuts you out entirely.
Oh, ow.
Are you all right?
Yeah, sometimes when you try to mess with law, there's a bit of a feedback if you don't get the proportions right.
No, I know. You're not more hurt right now.
Skeletal hand? No, I'm fine.
Well,
I'm all right.
wonderful.
Ruth, as you peer across this outcropping, there is wind like you wouldn't believe up here. And it feels like this is going to be a dangerous crossing. However, what's making it more dangerous is the strange uniformity of this bridge. What you thought before was just a natural, like, I don't know, rock that like fell and became wedged between these two peaks. You come to realize that this is more crafted than you anticipated. And as you take a step forward, you can hear the ice strain underneath you. And you find the reason for that being you look down and there's a very round, like perfectly circular hole underneath you that's been covered by the ice. And you come to recognize actually that's a window. And like as you look more, you recognize more and more like handcrafted things, more like built aspects of the thing you're standing on. It appears to be a tower that has fallen and gotten wedged in between these two peaks, not a rock. Quiet.
Sorry. Ruth looks at it and has the idea of knowing that this is a tower that has fallen to its side, and he will take out his axe, and he'll just start chipping away into the ice.
You chip once, you chip twice. Probably there's enough time for somebody to wonder what you're doing before you fall through into the tower.
Ruthie.
I am still tied to Rakel.
I see.
Yeah, and then Rakel is sort of like slid forward, those little spider feet like clamping onto the ice but sliding.
Can I dive forward and grab Rakel? Like,
You grab Rakel as she slides into the window, and you are pulled in after her.
Whoa!
Triss is. Did we bring up the sled with us?
No.
No!
No, you guys tied it to an icicle and left it there.
I mean, it would have
Right.
been too. It would have been too big to bring up.
Yeah, true. Could I attempt to help to stop us?
You find yourself standing on this sideways tower, and all your friends have fallen in this hole.
I'm still tied to.
Oh, you're still tied to Kid.
Kid.
Okay, you're trying to stop yourself.
Yeah.
How do you do that?
That's a good question.
You're sliding rapidly towards this window.
It's covered in
well-
ice.
Cat, like a cat forepaw hold on the outside of the window.
I am going to, let's see, I have something for this. No, that's not helpful. I thought I had something for this, but Thorn Cloud is not going to be helpful.
Well,
Well,
It's okay. Just tack us to the side.
Mhm.
like a nail gun.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I actually do have anything for this. Unless I can, I don't know, because I have a gun, not a bow.
Again, just tack us in.
With my gun?
Yes.
What do you mean?
we'll just like take anything and like jam it into the ice
Oh,
and
I
try
see,
to
I
hold
see,
on.
yes. Okay, yes.
No, I was just
would
thinking
like...
it would be very funny to actually do the nail gun.
Oh, yeah, or that.
I mean, I have a
think that's
climber's
funny
kit.
too.
I'm gonna take...
You have shot a rope through your gun before. Like we can come
That
up with
is
something.
true. Yes, I would like to do that to try and, Sorry, there's a raccoon on my front porch. Anyways, yeah, I'll take a I'll take a shot and see if I can tie us off.
Okay. Give me shit, just give me a roll from your Viper rifle.
Okay. 14.
14. I'm sorry. That's not quite gonna be enough. It is a valiant effort. You're sliding forward, thinking quickly. You pull out a baton, tie a rope to it, stick it in your on top of your gun. Use law to like shoot it into the ice next to you, and it just bounces off of it, and you watch it go flying by as you are slid into the window. And that is where we're gonna leave off on our break.
Awesome. So we are going to be back in 5 to 10 minutes. Don't go no place unless it's to grab a food, grab a drink, grab a friend, or possibly go to indooradventure.redbubble.com, pick yourself up something nice, and we will see you all shortly. All right, everybody. See you soon.
Goodbye.
And we're back. Hello, everybody. We have returned. We have climbed up a mountain. I have fallen through a window into a mysterious tower and dragged all of my friends with me. Danae, take us away.
Yeah, totally. It was Triss who was connected to Kid, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Kid had jumped forward and tried to grab Rakel, who was connected to Ruth.
You got it.
Correct.
All right, Kid, make me an endurance check
Oh.
to hold on.
Well, here we go. Natural 20, pure constitution,
No.
baby.
Sick. All right, baby, you did it. Hell yeah. All right. You are battered about as you don't fall straight down. There is a little bit of like slipping and slide. There's a slide situation basically.
Could I use this natural 20 to just grab Rakel and Triss and just take all of the body bounces on the way down?
Yeah, you can like get a hold of like each one of the ropes and like pull them in basically. Well, I guess you're not connected. You're holding on to Rakel, right? Yeah. You pull in the rope that's connected to Triss is what you do. And you pull them both in, yeah, and tank all of the hits.
Ow, ow, ow. Head.
And eventually you all kind of fall in a pile on top of each other. Rakel is it's Ruth first, and then I guess just Kid with
Everyone else.
Sorry.
A meteor hits Ruth.
I'm so glad that you came on this adventure with me. It's honestly incredible to discover what's happening with you.
I just imagine Ruth's like kind of like sitting up and going, "Well, that wasn't so bad," and then we all became.
Yeah, and then just Kid just like goosh right on top of you.
I'm alright.
And Ruth is like crushed underneath him. Rakel is
Just
laying
comes up her
there
hair.
with like
Yeah.
Rakel
Chris's
is laying
hair
there
is
with
stuck
like
in her branches, and they're all
one
little
foot up
broken.
with like one little like spider just sort of like clawing at the air. And then like the second one is slowly lowering itself from the ceiling and then just falls on Ruth's head.
He looks up. Should I don't know if I should move or not.
It'll jump to Rakel.
That was not ideal.
I would like to apologize. I did not think that we would fall that far, seeing as how it was a window. But, welcome.
For a giant.
Was it a window for a giant? I thought it was just a regular
In
window.
a giant's dwelling.
Not everything is built for the giant.
As you guys are discussing this, you have a chance to stand up and sort of examine your surroundings. Good news is you're protected from the wind in here. Other news is everything is sideways, and it seems like most everything is bolted down, actually. So like all of the furniture is just sort of like sitting like at a diagonal. And as you examine it, you realize like none of this really looks familiar to you in terms of like, I don't know, make and model that you have seen before. Everything's kind of made of metal. It's all sort of like riveted and kind of flowy in like this Art Nouveau way. In fact, it reminds you of the make of the trains, actually.
Okay, so is this giant or is it just rich?
Everything seems to be sized for normal folk.
Okay, so they're just rich.
Sure.
You were
You
muted.
are muted.
Well, now that we're here, what is the plan to move forward?
Well,
Forward that way.
seeing as how our end of the mountain was on this side of the tower, and he'll point to the direction that leads farthest, rather than climb across an ice bridge and terrifying winds and have all of these trains flying about trying to kill us, might as well just walk through here. Seemed like a safer, calmer, less terrifying option. Though, to be fair, we have not explored this tower, but, that being said, it also got us out of the cold a little bit.
Anyone else perturbed that everything's kind of cantilevered to the side?
Oh, like bolted down?
Yeah.
Look, I don't know about y'all, but I've been having vertigo ever since we started this thing. So I just want to, move forward. And
Yes.
Rakel will glide across the floor as her spiders bring her across the wall, which is now the floor.
Would it make
is
it easier for folks, and Ruth will stand with the floor as the floor for his feet? Would it make it easier if we all just talked like that? Treated it orientation wise as the same thing?
Are you okay?
I hit my head and had a lot of people fall on me.
Ruthie, are you okay? Are you okay, Ruthie?
Yeah.
Can I hold like an ever-burning torch up to Ruthie? Just check the pupils a little bit.
One of them is definitely dilating more than the other, but that seems normal.
Oh no.
Fair.
It'd be concerning if both of them were dilated.
Perhaps they were worried about theft, so let's just proceed with caution and keep our bearings about us. Who would be the best at drawing a map of where we've been in case we get turned around?
That sounds like a dungeoneering check to me.
Oh, I don't have that skill.
I do not either.
I don't know if any of us took that skill.
I mean,
I've got
like,
six.
when would you ever need it?
Mm-hmm.
In the
Dungeon
Wild
and
West, a dungeon. What's next? Dragons.
I mean,
Crazy.
wisdom people. I got 6.
Maybe
I
we
got
can work together.
2.
I got 4.
Triss will start attempting to map as we go.
Hello, Simon.
Okay. You come to realize that the peak that you were at was slightly higher than the peak that you're heading to. So as a result, the tower is sort of tipped in that direction, which kind of explains why you slid for so long. You kind of like slid down the height of the tower itself. You're basically descending the tower. And fortunately, that is the sort of orientation of the tower itself. Like all of the furniture is more inclined the direction that it would normally be rather than being upside down, if that makes sense. So yeah, you start making your way down the tower. You can hear the wind sort of whistling outside. There are stairs that just sort of spiral their way down. There's also a open area in the middle of the tower for a broad length of it, and you can see that this middle area has these rings that kind of like, sort of segment the tower going down, and there's broken glass everywhere. It seems like that used to be some sort of tube.
Hmm.
And as you descend, like the need to map where you've been, you realize it's not that serious. It is just kind of a up and down situation. There's not any danger of getting lost.
Okay.
But
Um,
I make a history check if Kid knows any, like, weird tales, lore stories about this sort of thing happening. An ice house?
yeah, give me a history check, sure.
13. 13.
13. The Wayward Sons used to tell you stories of angels who lived in the sky.
That's where my parents lived.
Oh, that's so sad.
Did they drop a house on the
and
mountain?
like there'd be like castles and things like on top of clouds and stuff, and like little like happy cherubs with like little bird wings and stuff. Like it was a children's book. And this sort of reminds you of that, but like, ain't nothing like the pictures in your books.
Where's Calcifer? Anyway.
As you're descending, the it really hammers home just how alien everything here is. It simultaneously seems like it's old, like ancient, like decaying, but it all seems like a bit too advanced for you. There's things here that like boggles your mind. You couldn't even begin to think of like what it would like, like there are things here that you don't even like know what it would be for, but it looks important.
Is it bolted down?
Yeah.
Damn it.
I mean, are you looking for stuff to like carry with you?
More or less. If there's, like, something that's valuable.
You could probably find something that's broken loose somewhere. Give me a perception check.
Can't fuck a 16.
A 16? You're able to find what appears to be a bit of broken like hand railing. But it's got like a fun like curve to it that would be really hard to make.
Oh, I know what I'm gonna do with this. When we get out of here, I'm gonna fuse this engraving onto my gun and it'll look sweet as fuck. Ooh. Kid opens an Etsy shop. Anyway.
Okay. You get to the bottom of this spiral staircase, and come to a door.
Are there any sounds that we've been hearing?
Aside from the roaring wind outside,
Mm-hmm.
there's also the sound of like straining ice every now and then. You can hear distant trains going off,
But nothing inside.
and your footsteps across the diagonal stairs, basically.
Dope. Dope, dope, dope.
Dope, 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 dope.
Well,
Sure.
proceed with caution.
I'll say. Oh, you know what? Give me a perception check. Actually, that's what those are for.
Oh, goody. I'm great at these. Oh, 19. That's not bad.
There's something that sounds like growling below.
Tris puts her hand up, touches her ear, and like looks to Rakel. Do you hear that growling?
Do I hear a growling?
Give me a perception check.
27.
It is a low, rhythmic, rattling noise. Definitely biological.
I would like to find the source of the rumblies and see
Okay.
if I can find a new friend.
Okay. You get to the bottom of these stairs and you sort of like stand in front of this door and you can hear it's kind of muffled from behind this door, definitely coming from this direction.
I will open the door.
Okay. You open the door, and you find yourself in yet another diagonal room. This one is filled with like flasks and alembics, and they're all, like tacked down onto the like shelves and desks that they're on, and they just sort of like curly cue and swirl throughout the room, all long ago emptied. But like strange glass that like could never have been created by mortal hands. And meanwhile, in the corner, sort of like bundled like in a little nest that it's made for itself, is a body that rises and falls in time with this rhythmic growling.
I would like to. I mean, do I recognize what type of creature this is?
It is dark, and you can't like identify the any shape of it. I mean, I guess give me a nature check.
Alright, I would like you all to know I so resisted the urge to go, what?
Same. It was deep in my bones. I was like, I gotta
Ooh.
do it. Oh, no.
I really wanted to.
I'm an action point it, and I mean, if I don't, where's action points? There it is. I found it. Great. 24. And if Rakel does not immediately pick up on what it is, she is just going to pitter patter over to it.
Okay. You cautiously approach, and you slowly put together that the growling that you're hearing is in fact snoring. And your excitement is withered by the sight of Thorn sleeping in this corner.
And as a reminder, Thorn is the amalgam of gems.
Thorn, you'll recognize him as soon as you talk to him. It's Trisannas.
Yeah. But just the one
Just
guy.
the one guy, not like
Just the
all of
one
them.
guy.
He's
He
the
used to be a
last
bunch
one.
of guys,
Yeah,
but he
yeah.
got ate a whole lot by a displacer beast.
That tends to happen.
Oh my god, it's our minion. We've missed him.
It's our baby boy!
He's just lying fully on his back, and as you approach, like you recognize him because like you're like staring right down his nostrils, which are just like rattling with the snore.
It's the
And I'm gonna go try to find the exit door.
Okay. Disappointed, you retreat.
I'm really tempted to poke him with the pipe. Like, are you dead? But we know he's snoring.
Looking at him, I like. Does any what does everybody else do?
Yeah,
I'm looking
yeah.
down at him.
Rakel
kid,
went
you
up,
like
spotted it, and Ruth is just like kind of mouths the like, what is it? And like brings up his weapons like, do we gotta kill this thing?
No, it's our baby boy. Thorn.
Oh. Puts one weapon back and keeps the other out just in case.
He seems to have like wrapped himself in some sort of tarp that he has found. It's all tattered and like holy. And like it seems that like his clothes are all scratched up. He's got a big old shiner. He like also
He
like
fell out of the sky.
Yeah, he fell out of the sky. He does not look great.
No, this dude has 2 HP. Of course he doesn't look great.
Mm-hmm.
But like you're able to kind of like put together the fact that he kind of like fell higher up on the mountain than you did. And you know, he's spent at least one night alone on the mountain up here. And is in pretty rough shape.
Kid has like a pound of beef jerky in one hand and a wineskin in the other, and he's just gonna quietly shake Thorn awake. Hey, buddy.
Flails.
Calmate.
He like slaps you multiple times in the face before you calm him down.
Hey, buddy.
Huh? What?
It's us. We found you.
Are you here to kill me?
Oh, Brett? No.
No.
Do you want us to be?
No.
And Ruth has
I'm
like a
gonna-
look up just like, fine, and like puts his
I'd
weapon
be,
down.
I'd be much appreciated if you didn't do that.
Oh, okay.
I'm-
So you don't want okay, so you don't want us to save you from you know
The Rail King.
rapid onset of hypothermia?
What?
You not
You're here
recognize
to
us?
help me? Oh my God, it's you!
All right.
I'm sorry, I'm having a real hard time opening my eyes.
Oh, have you eaten anything out here?
No,
Oh,
there ain't no
well,
food up here on this godforsaken mountain.
Were you bit by anything?
Well, I mean, just the one. I mean, who hasn't had to like shove a coyote off of them while they're sleeping? You know what I'm saying?
Like
No,
here.
Totally get it. Definitely understandable.
I like you look him in the eyes and he like absolutely is like swollen. Like he like you can't even see him like opening them at all. They're like all but glued shut.
Kid's gonna just turn to Rakel.
Right, hang on. And Raquel is gonna look around for any of the fur of the thing that attacked him, on his person.
He would have
All
had
right.
like tear, right?
Oh, I think you're gonna have to get lucky for this one.
I
What
will
sort of-
try and look for it.
What sort of check are we gonna call this? Perception, sure.
Perception,
Yeah. While he's explaining, he's like, "Yeah, well, I must have been allergic to whatever got me because they, took a chunk out of my thigh right here." He turns around, it's fully his ass that's been bit.
I don't know how I'm gonna wrap this.
Delicately?
With
Yeah,
a
it took a
sick
chunk
verse.
out of my leg right there, and then I kicked it off the mountainside, and then I swelled up something fierce, and then I couldn't see nothing, and I kept on feeling like someone was following me around, so I went and I found some place to hunker down. And while he's explaining this, you can find like a little bit of fur.
I will try my best to delay affliction, but I
Sorry,
can't
I
do
play a
anything
character named
about his
Affliction.
concave ass.
Oh, bless. Okay. Y'all didn't see anybody out there, because I was pretty sure someone was following me around.
Mm-mm.
not.
How big was the person following you?
I
Like-
couldn't rightly say. I couldn't see at the time between the snow and my eyes gluing shut like they have.
Here's some food and some water.
Oh, thank you.
Oh,
It's
I
like he's
regret.
unhinging his jaw.
I regret. He ate the water skin.
Mom always told me I had an appetite.
I'm gonna need that back.
Well, the thing that was following you, did it seem like it was in the sky or on the ground?
Oh, it had the scariest sounding footsteps of anything in the West.
If you could,
Well, we're in the north, so
if you could, I try and describe the scary footsteps.
How far apart
It
were
sounded
they?
like it had a bunch of pennies in its pocket.
Spurs.
Uh-oh.
is that supposed to mean something? I'm so sorry.
It doesn't really mean much other than the individual was wearing spurs and or they had a lot of coin on them, which means it probably wasn't Jack.
It
Mm.
also means that we are not alone up here.
Yeah, I was
Well?
crunching through the snow something fierce. And I kept on saying, hello, who's there? And it never answered.
Perhaps it was just a spirit. Speaking of, I haven't seen any down here so far. Perhaps I should look for them while you conversate with our friend.
Sure. All right, Thorn. Let's you get you settled down, get your mind warmed up a little bit,
Ruth is gonna use
and then we're gonna have to
law.
continue on.
Ruth is gonna use law. And in 5e they're just called warm stones. It's literally just like a hand warmer
Oh,
kind of thing. Like I want to spend
Yeah.
like 100 gold to just like make a rock that Thorny Toad
That he can hold on
that
to
he
and
can
keep
hold on to
warm.
to keep himself warm. I'm not giving him my coat. Don't be ridiculous. This is my coat. I'll give him a rock.
Sure.
Warm rock for lizard makes sense.
You give him a rock and he just sort of like, starts turning it over in his hand and like he's only shivering slightly now. Triss, you're looking for spirits?
Yes, that's a
This
24
high
nature
up,
check.
this high up on the mountain, you're going to be hard pressed to find anything human. But
I was
here
thinking.
In
I was
the
gonna say
tower.
in the tower. Yeah.
here in the tower, that's where I was going too.
That's right.
Here in the tower, it's weird. It's something like you've never seen before. And this is rare when it comes to ghosts. Like you've seen pretty much everything that the ghost world has to offer. You've never seen this. It's like they melted. They're all kind of just pooled around the floor. They're not like they're not like conversational. Like you can't find a personality of any sort. And you can walk over to like one of these sort of like puddles, I guess, and touch it briefly. And you kind of interact with the law of it. And I want you to like imagine like liquid with kind of like a texture behind it that's just ones and zeros.
Oh. There are spirits here, and you guys can see her just like staring at the like kind of kneeled down, staring at the ground. But they seem to be melted in a way, like they're just their basic code. You know what the basics of what makes up a person, not skin and bone and personality, mind. It's just some sort of fleshy thing.
Sloth.
Hmm?
Ew.
Sloth. Like when you when you boil a piece of meat and you pull out the bone, how it sort of just falls off with the rest.
Yeah, something like that.
You're saying
But
their
there's
ghost bones are gone.
well, I think it's more than that because do I literally see ones and zeros, or is it like metaphorically ones and zeros?
It like is like jittery and glitchy and kind of like you get the idea that you're looking at something that you fundamentally cannot understand, and
Yeah.
this is just your mind trying to make sense of it.
Yeah. It's hard to say. They almost look like they're not right where they should be, like they are coming in and out. Perhaps traveling stuck between here and a different plane, or I'm just grasping at straws here. I'm not actually sure.
Rakel, where did you go to?
After trying to delay the affliction, I was just going to the next door.
I would say that you'd be successful in casting that spell. And as you like were performing it, you realized that he was farther advanced than Kid was. Like literally his eyes had like started to like his eyelids had started to form together. Like he's probably going to need a minute for that to reverse itself, but like you're starting to realize that like if this advances far enough, like the eyelids like form together, and then like probably all the rest of the holes in your face too, and then it just becomes like one sheer flesh.
Oh. Oh. Oh.
Yeah. And just sort of realizing that
Yeah, so we're gonna want to heal up. We're gonna want to figure out how to actually heal you up, kid, before before stuff happens.
Kind of stuff.
Glances over at Tris. Bad stuff.
Like the no face kind of stuff.
Like the know anything kind of stuff. Let's go.
I hate that. Let's go. Yep. Kid is going to just slap Thorn on the back to get him moving.
You stand up and get ready to leave the room. When something darkens the door.
Meep.
Hi.
Shouldn't.
Rakel, you look up and you recognize the creature that's been following you and you caught in your snare a while back.
Hi.
It pulls out a pistol and points it at Thorn.
Maybe not. Maybe let's not do that.
It sort of turns towards you, and there's sort of an implied, like, why?
Because I just spent a little bit of money trying to heal him up, and you would owe me money after that.
It kind of like pushes up its hat a little bit, and you see that glass dome that's above the bandana sort of flicker for a second as it sort of examines Thorn, and then it's gonna put the gun away. It'll
Hello.
kind of like look at the rest of you, and then it'll turn around like it's gonna leave.
Do you know the way to Sears?
Yes, we're looking for some clothing. Sorry, there's a bad joke. Sears. Thank you, Windor.
It stops where it's at, and then walks back towards you, Rakel. and it will reach into like its side satchel. Looking at this creature, it is made completely out of metal. You're all able to like kind of examine it for the first time, and like it articulates on hinges, and everything about it is just like pistons and glass. Otherwise, it's, you know, wearing a poncho, a bandana, a hat, and like it can pretty well disappear into a crowd if people aren't paying attention to it.
Also, you don't happen to have the same thing that he had, did you? I don't want to judge, but you didn't used to have a face, right?
It will like reach out a hand to touch yours.
Touch my hand or my face?
Your hand.
Okay.
As soon as it makes contact with you, you're able to understand that it was always this way.
Okay, that's what I thought, but that connections are being made anyway.
You feel a stone in your palm where it touched your hand, and it pulls away. And looking down, you see a displacer beast carved out of dark stone.
Cute.
And it's gonna touch your hand again, and like you can see like lights sort of like sparkle throughout the like glass of its face, and you understand that you can help it find its home.
He means the rock.
Mm-hmm.
It means the rock.
Mm-hmm. You begin to recognize the features of this displacer beast, and you realize you know this displacer beast.
You squished him?
It seems a little taken aback by this. It sort of looks to the rest of the folks in the room like, uh-oh.
Shrug.
What's going on?
How do we know it was him?
Does kid know about Warforge?
I think we went over that. Yeah, that he did.
The Warforged, if I remember correctly, were an integral part of quote unquote the war.
Indeed.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
But-
there was a whole genocide that Rakel was kind of worried about.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That
Yes.
people were just like accepting that happened. But
Correct.
Or
Yes.
may have been a part of.
yeah, we're not going there.
Does this particular Warforged look like battle worn, or is it like pristine glass and like?
It's battle worn, sure. Yeah, it seems old, maybe not necessarily as old as the things surrounding it, but like looking at it, like it's designed in a similar way to the building and the trains.
First time we've seen it.
This is the first time Kid and Triss have seen it.
Okay. Would anyone care to tell me what's going on here and who our friend is?
This ginger person is they've been around since we got to
Lathy Springs. A little bit before then.
it was before it was with the horse tornado
Ah, yeah, the
in that
carousel.
same area.
She
Uh,
walks forward and like offers her hand to it. To them.
It'll
Trisannas.
Yeah, it'll look at you and like take your hand. Sort of in a similar way to how you feel you can't understand the spirits on the ground. It tells you its name, and you feel your mind try to like comprehend it, and you settle on the letters RC.
Oh. An interesting way to speak. RC. Thank you. It is lovely to meet you.
Kid points.
It infers to you that you have been met.
So, Theorist, do you happen to know where about Sears might be layering?
The fort.
And the fort would be in which direction?
He turns, or not he, but it turns very sharply towards Ruth. And it says, he knows.
Okay, Ruth, you know where the fort is? It seemed like a proper noun.
And there is just a pause, and Ruth just nods his head.
Cool, so can you get us there?
I
can do my
cannot.
best.
Posse, are you going to be traveling with us properly, or do you prefer to be on your own, following
will not.
behind?
I will not travel with you.
Understood.
You have grown too powerful.
Okay,
Thank you.
This is not a compliment.
Okay, do you need anything?
I do not.
Okay. Look, I feel really weird. I have a squished kitty in my hand.
It will
When
not
you're
remain
Spider-
so.
What'd you say?
It will not remain so.
Perhaps you can summon back the creature.
I was going to
Using
ask if I could use an
law.
Arcana to see if this is a magical item.
Sure. As you're doing that, it infers to Rakel, it does not belong in this world. You can help it find its home.
19.
Yes, this is a magical item. In fact, it's got that strange powdery kind of effect that ritual casting gives it. You're growing more familiar with it as Rakel like casts more rituals. It's pretty much the same thing.
Yeah, it looks like a ritual's bound the critter into there. Could I tell the specifics? Can we like pop it out, pop it in, Pokeball style, or is it just
You get the idea. It's kind of a one and done thing.
you can release the displacer beast at any time, but we're not going to be able to seal her back up?
It will become small again when it desires.
I would suggest not summoning it around thorns, seeing as how that might be a point of trauma for the poor boy.
What? What's going on?
Shush. Focus on that warm stone.
Thorn has made himself very small in the corner, and like now his eyes have finally opened, and he's just staring at this at this thing. And like you see him just sort of like raise a shaking finger and point at it, and it's like that's the thing it's the one that's been following me.
Yeah, it's been following us too. Don't worry. And
It is
Raquel,
different with him. I intend to kill him.
Why?
I have made it my life's mission to slay those with law.
Why?
Because they grow too powerful, and then they do harm.
And if they don't? Do harm. What if they do good?
They will inevitably do harm.
Wait, that sounds like a threat. We should go.
Yeah.
I am not a threat to you. You are too powerful for me.
And if we say we have decided to put Thorn under our custody, would that remove him from your list for the time being?
There's a pause. I suppose it must.
There we go. Honestly, we're gonna need as many bodies as we can, because it's gonna be a fight.
It was wonderful to speak with you, RC. I believe we must be moving on before night falls.
You are going to try and slay the giant.
We are.
I believe you're the only one who can.
Thank you.
I mean that in the collective, all of you together.
I would
Those with
still
law
take the
do not
compliment.
seem to want to work together, and you are outliers.
Something I never got. A lot of things are more convenient when you work together. It just, I don't know.
You also seem very eager to give away your gold, which those with law do not often do.
What is a hoard of gold to someone who does not use it?
Power.
Life's just a lot more simple when you don't have to abide by the law.
God, talk about trailer fodder.
Feel like the expression is more money, more problems.
For some of you, this like the way that this creature is speaking, its principles may seem a bit hypocritical to you because it is also a user of law.
Nope, not to Ruth.
No.
Ruth knows exactly where this critter's coming from.
If you gotta use evil to fight evil, use evil to fight evil. Like, we gotta
Law is
survive
not
out here somehow.
Law is not evil.
It's the people who are wielding the law.
Not even that.
Well,
You are not meant to hold it.
That's why we give it away. She says with confidence and not just to appease him.
It's the arcanic equivalent of you can't take it with you.
I can only hope that you continue to think that. But I do not believe you will.
Well, when the day comes, if I shall turn to the evil ways, I assume that you will grow in power and take care of what is needed to take care of.
I will not.
All right, then, shall we?
We shall. Come on, Mama needs a new pair of shoes.
Kid just turns through. Technically speaking, because we are users of the law, there's a very small % chance of us taking it with us as we reconstitute somewhere.
Ruth just looks at Kid with the deadest eyes you have ever seen from this old man. Not me. Not again.
I'm sorry, what? That's RJ.
Just moves on.
Chris
Ah,
just kind of
Tempting the iron flesh.
RC is gonna like reach out to Rakel, probably a little bit too fast for comfort.
Yes.
Do not forget the old ways. You are not meant to hold it.
What?
I have already taught you many of our ways. This is the way we do it. This is our law. You are not meant to hold it. It seems so earnestly to be trying to communicate this to you, but it's very similar to what I've described with Triss, where it's like it's saying things to you in like the clearest way it knows how, but your mind is comprehending what I'm telling you. And I think it like looks at you for a while, and it turns and goes through the door and begins to disappear into the snow.
Okay.
Strange little being. Is everyone all right after that interaction? It seemed very heavy.
Staring off after Ruth.
Ruth's gone over to help Thorn.
Holy shit. Did you hear that? He wanted to kill me.
I did. We won't let
I've-
nothing happen to you, boy.
I've never done anything wrong. I've only murdered a few people.
And I'm sure they were people who deserved it, and he pats him on the shoulder.
Oh, I can never know that. They're dead now. I couldn't ask them.
Well, just whatever you tell yourself before you go to sleep at night.
Ruth, am I a bad person?
We don't have time to dig into that right now, Thorn, but you definitely have room for improvement.
Let's not focus on the us of the past, and let's focus on the us of the now.
Ruth, do you believe that people who do bad things can be forgiven?
I do. Just like the straightest answer that he possibly can.
Wow, that was really quick. You really had that one in the holster. Okay.
Yep, yes I did. Let's get a move on, Thorn.
All right, I'm gonna try and take some comfort in that. Let's go.
Now remember,
Alright, what-
if a metal man starts chasing you through the winter...
Uh-huh. That sounds very relevant to this situation. I'm gonna need to hear this.
and he'll just
It's
be
like a
talking
bear
to Thorn.
situation. You make yourself look bigger so you look like you have more law than you do.
You want to spread your body out real big, Vitruvian Man style, and stand perfectly still. That way it'll be over quick.
Rakel's jumping spider shoes do the spider dance.
Jiminy Jim Jam, all right. What is your plan moving forward?
Exactly that. Moving forward.
Moving forward.
Moving forward, all right.
Try and stake bearings so that way I can try and figure out where the fort is in relation to where we are.
Okay. That sounds like a check that I would call survival in 5th edition, but I believe we only have nature for this kind of stuff.
Nature.
I'll double check just to make sure. I'll take a nature or a history.
Thank God. Nature. 16.
16. Okay. You. It's been some time, and the storm is thick. But you think that, like, from this vantage point, you can figure out where the path would be to get to the cloud fort. And more than anything, what points it out for you is that in the sky there is a sort of glimmering line where the sky rail used to be. It points directly at the fort. So you feel if you ever get lost, you can just look for the sky rail and it would point you where you need to go.
I will relay that to the party. All we gotta do is just follow the leavings of the sky trail. He'll point up into the sky.
Great. Okay.
Hey, something I've been wondering, like as he's like walking with them. So, you remember Dexter, mayor of Lethe Springs?
Vampire.
Well, vampire spawn. So that means that there was somebody probably like an originator. Do you wonder what they're up to?
A sire.
Sire, that's the word I was looking for. Do you think they
I heard
care?
that guy was from across the sea.
Well, let's hope he stays there. He'll just like dust off his palms and keep trucking.
Oh shoot, this here's the Palisade Mountains, isn't it? I think I got kin up here.
If you do, you might want to wait to try and track him down. Tell you what, how about this? You help us get all the way to the West Coast. I'll come back, I'll help you find your kin.
Oh well, you probably couldn't miss them. They're pretty big.
Like, how big are we talking? Like, we're talking like 25 feet tall?
Sir, my name's Thursaws. That's a giant name.
25 feet tall. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do you know of the person we're looking for?
What, Cirrus Bluff?
Yeah.
He's one of the Four Compass Roves.
Yes.
He's on your
relation.
magic picture book there.
Yes, but are you related?
Oh, no.
Man.
There's all kinds of different giant lines up here.
Maybe we find your kin and ask about Bluff. Find out more intel.
What do you think?
They might
And
know
perhaps
something.
they might be willing to help us, since they are probably oppressed, one would think.
They are living it like kings up here. We are doing a war.
Yeah, we love it! Well, shoot, if you want to take a break from your great grand adventure to come and try and find my family, then I mean, I'm not going to stop you, but
I was under the impression you knew where they were.
well, I mean, I know whereabouts they could be, but like, also it's real
Kid
dangerous
is actively
to try and...
shelving the side quest in his hotbar.
Okay,
Ruth
that
will-
makes sense. All right.
Ruth will like kind of like pat Kid and be like, we asked him where they were and he told us a mountain range. That's like saying, do you know where your kinfolk is? And he says, yeah, north.
No, Kid is actively like deselecting that side
Yeah.
quest in his brain.
So that it no longer has like a waypoint
It's
or
the
anything.
Final Fantasy 14, like, and abandon. Like,
You can actively watch the hope in his eyes die.
Right about there.
Amazing. Well, if we're all really careful and strong and stick-to-itive and we all believe in each other, I think we can do it. I think we can find Cirrus Bluff and we can defeat him.
You know, I was waiting
And
half
all-
a beat there, and I was waiting for him to get abducted.
Yes. Abducted by what?
like a giant
It's like-
eagle or something.
Faceless
Oh, there it
eagle,
goes.
just like there he goes.
Mhm.
No,
our side
no.
quest.
We'll find
You guys
him.
are
We're
stuck.
all gonna make it out alive.
Rock.
All
You
four
guys are
of us.
stuck with him for the
Oh.
time being. What?
What?
No, don't worry about it.
Okay. Well, jeez.
I'm sorry, that really tickled me.
I really believe in us. I think we can do it. So let's all put our hands in a circle, like you do.
I'm gonna decline because I don't know how you draw more people into your giant form.
Well, I suppose it is fair. We did used to be villains. Villains. Enemies. Foes?
No, it's
People who fight each other?
It's more of we haven't had enough of the other thorns to really understand how your powers work, and I get nervous.
Right,
those
we don't
guys
wanna
got
be
ate by-
absorbed.
Those guys got ate by a displacer beast. It's just me now, sir.
Yep.
Do you want them back? I don't know how that would work, but
I think we should move on.
I've been around you folks long enough. I feel like I should ask more questions before I say yes.
Yeah, it's learning.
And
So
with
proud of
that,
you.
I guess that's where we're gonna leave off for this week.
Rare form, everyone.
Fantastic. Oh my god. Look, we might not have played for the better part of a month and a half, but we didn't miss a beat. I love y'all. I had a great time, but I always have a great time whenever any of these folks are on the channel. Danae, where can we find you? What do you do?
Oh gosh, hey guys, I'm Danae Keener. You can find me at DanaeKeener.com. Sorry, I got distracted by the captions spelling my name differently twice in a row. You can find me there where I'm doing nerdy drawings mostly related to D&D and a lot of things on this channel. So go check it out, DanaeKeener.com.
Hey everybody, it's me RJ. You can catch me at RJustice282 on all the socials where I normally retweet whenever I go live. There's some stuff coming down the pipeline that's really fun. Some stuff over at Norville with Marvel. On Tuesdays, I'll be over at High Shelf Collective for a game of Heart. We're doing our session 0 tomorrow, so I'm excited for that. And Sundays over at LB's for our Fallout game. It's getting good. No, we have another before our last episode, yes?
Getting
Yeah, we got
good.
two more.
It has
more.
been good. It's good from the beginning, you guys.
I agree.
But yeah, DanaeKeener.com.
Hello, everybody. I'm LBHackEmUp. You can find me at LBHackEmUp on Instagram and on Blue Sky. I am Hack Recklessly on Twitch and on YouTube, where you can find that wonderful Fallout game. We are on episode 5 this week out of 6. The group is traveling north in the 313, which is what was Detroit before the bombs fell. And they're trying to figure out what's going on. There's murders, there's mystery, there's a super mutant group at a fairground, and they all dress like clowns. It's a good time. And they haven't seen the scariest of the creatures yet. I might next week. I have art for it. It's going to be fun. DanaeKeener.com.
hi, I'm Cyber at cyberwolf1201.com. DanaeKeener.com. I ain't doing shit right now.
And hello, everybody. And if you've made it this far, you probably already know who I am. But if you don't, hey, Acorns, what's up? It's me, your buddy, your pal, your friend, the Indoor Adventurer, the showrunner here at twitch.tv/Indoor Adventures. We do shows like this when we can on Mondays at 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time and on Sundays at 10:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. If this is your first time joining us, you can go to youtube.com/Indoor Adventures to check up on all of the VODs of each of the games that we have played up until this point, or you can go towards anywhere audiocasts are being made available for free. You can find us there under the same moniker. We are going to be skipping our nights in the courtyard, but of course, all of the other after shows that you've done or that we've done are up at patreon.com/Indoor Adventures. So go ahead and check those out. But for now, we are going to be heading out. So I'd like to say once again, thank you to everybody who decided to stop on by. Thank you to these fantastic players for putting up with our bullshit. And of course, thank you to Danae for running this absolutely incredible game. We couldn't have done it without you. And we will see everybody else next time. All right, everybody. Bye-bye. I almost hit the wrong buttons. I almost hit all of the wrong buttons.